Alright guys, with Raw Wrestler here, and today I'm going to be reviewing NXT Takeover Phoenix. Now I know this review is going up late, I do apologise for that. On the night of NXT Takeover Phoenix, I was in Grimsby, so I wasn't able to watch the show. I watched the show the day after, the day of the Rumble. If you haven't seen my Royal Rumble review, please check it out. You'll see my thoughts on that show. I'm not going to spoil it here, but this Phoenix show, I've got my Johnny Gargano shirt on today. This Takeover Phoenix show was leaps and bounds better than that Royal Rumble show. Um, this show had a lot of hype from me, at least, going into it. I thought Ricochet and Gargano would be one of the best matches of the show and probably of NXT history. I thought Black and Champ would be fantastic. I thought the opener with I thought the tag team title match, War Raiders and the Undisputed Era, would be fantastic. And I just thought the show had such a great card that it could not be great. Very similar to the Takeover Philadelphia show last year that preceded the Royal Rumble. That show obviously had the first 5-star match ever given by Dave Meltzer. Well, no, ever given by Dave Meltzer to NXT. The Almas and Gargano match on that show was just outstanding. So I kind of wanted to see how a year on, how are NXT doing? A year on from their first 5-star match, how are we doing for 5-star matches in NXT? I mean, if you look at it, technically, I said there was one at New Orleans. I said there was one in Chicago. I said there was one in Brooklyn, but I'd probably take that back because I have rewatched their Last Man Standing match, Gargano and Ciampa. Probably give it 4.5 stars. I probably wouldn't give it 5. I was very much just into it when I was watching it. And then I mean, at War Games, I nearly gave both matches the Ciampa Dream and the Black Gargano match. I nearly gave them both 5, but I decided to just refrain because I was like, I want to see a little bit more from both. And this show here, NXT Takeover Phoenix, I thought was stunning. I thought it was breathtaking, and I am just sad that I didn't get to watch it live. And we're going to get into this show with the opening match on the card, the War Raiders taking on the Undisputed Era, represented by Roderick Strong and Kyle O'Reilly. The War Raiders had a fantastic Roman Viking entrance with men with shields and spears, and they came down to the ring with their paint, with helmets and stuff, with like cuirasses. It was excellent. One of the coolest entrances in Takeover for quite some time. The Undisputed Era came down to the ring, the cocky, swaggery heels. This was an excellent opening tag team match. One of the best openers in NXT history. Not quite as good as the Mustache Mountain tag from Brooklyn, but I think this was still an excellent tag team opener. The shine at the beginning, the crowd were in love with the War Raiders. The War Raiders at the beginning, they dominated the Undisputed Era. They took control of them. They took them apart, essentially. And eventually, of course, they would cut off Hansen of the War Raiders. And the Undisputed Era are the best tag team in WWE at the minute. No one's really close. As good as the War Raiders are, I think the Undisputed Era are Bobby Fish, sorry. Kyle O'Reilly and Roderick Strong are, to me, the pinnacle of what these tag team wrestlers should be looking at in the WWE. AEW is going to have a fantastic roster, but I think people should not forget the quality of NXT and the quality of these NXT shows, and this opener was a fantastic way to open the show. At one point, Hansen and Rowe body slammed Hansen off the apron on top of both members of the Era. A fantastic little moment there. Then the Undisputed Era took control of Hansen. Just great heat here. They took control of him as Hansen went to do a tope suicida. It cost him. He missed both men, went flat on his back on the outside. Horrible for Hansen, but just great heat for the Era. They got him back in. They took control of him. Towards the end of the matchup, the near falls on Hansen had me believing the Era were going to retain. There was a superplex from Roderick Strong. There was a top rope knee drop from Kyle O'Reilly. That got a near fall. Hansen kicked out. Then Hansen gets up. He takes the axe and smash combo. He takes an Olympic slam from Strong. He kicks out again. Hansen gets up again. He takes the high-low total elimination. No one's kicked out of that. I believe, in NXT since the Undisputed Era started using it as a finish. And Hansen kicks out of it. Stunning. Raymond Rowe, though, gets back in there. After Hansen, basically, he does the cartwheel and he avoids another total elimination. He does a handspring back elbow. He tags in Raymond Rowe. Raymond Rowe comes in, powerbomb, front slam, world's strongest slam to both men. He picks up one of the Undisputed Era. They hit Fallout. 1, 2, 3. The War Raiders are the new NXT Tag Team Champions. This was a fantastic opener. And I mean, in the grand scheme of the show, it does get lost, and it is actually just the third best match on the show. But this shows you the quality of this show, and the War Raiders, I saw them winning the belts. A couple of people didn't think they'd win the belts here. They thought they'd maybe win them at WrestleMania weekend. To me, you can just rematch this at Mania weekend, and then the era can go up the night after WrestleMania. I'm recording this on Tuesday, so on SmackDown, the Undisputed Era could turn up on there. I doubt it. But yeah, this was an excellent opener. 4.25 stars to this opener. War Raiders are the new NXT Tag Team Champions. Second match on the show, Matt Riddle, Cassius Ohno. This was by far the stiffest match on the show. I thought that Cassius Ohno was actually very underrated in this little feud with Riddle. I thought he was excellent as a heel. I think that Chris Hero has never really been given enough respect or enough time or enough push from the company in NXT. And I get that it's age, and they don't like his look. They don't like the fact that he is, sorry, let's get to the pop-up, the fact that he is a bit of a bigger guy, and he's a bit bigger, and that's fine for me. I don't really mind. Matt Riddle is a guy that they look at and they see being a big star. I personally see him being the NXT champion within the next year. I would love to see him have a match with Aleister Black. I would love to see him have a match with Johnny Gargano, Ricochet, Adam Cole. Like there's dream stuff for Matt Riddle there. This match though, Matt Riddle and Cassius Ohno was very good. Not as good as the opener, but very good. I thought that to me, Ohno excels at being a heel. He stomped on the bare feet of Matt Riddle. He bit the bare feet of Matt Riddle. He honestly, he hit a discus big boot on Matt Riddle. The elbows, the senton. Matt Riddle was honestly, you know what? He wasn't destroyed by Cassius Ohno, but it was a lot more even than I thought it would be. And I think that was great. I don't think that Cassius Ohno loses anything in defeat. In the end, Cassius Ohno took everything Matt Riddle could throw at him, but he got to his knees and he did the old Ric Flair, please don't hurt me. Cassius, he went to do the fist bump. Matt Riddle went no. He locked him in a submission and then essentially just kept elbowing him. Cassius Ohno tapped out, which you don't see very often. You don't see a striking submission very often. So interesting finish. I think that it works perfectly for Matt Riddle, and I think this worked perfectly for the story. Matt Riddle goes 3-0 against Cassius Ohno, but I don't think Cassius Ohno earns a lot, loses anything, from this feud. I think that Cassius Ohno's job at his age, I think he's about 39 in NXT, is really to help these guys like Matt Riddle, Donovan Dijakovic, these guys that have come in that are decently young, to have a big debut takeover match, kind of like Lars Sullivan did. Cassius Ohno has had very few takeover matches. Velveteen Dream, Lars Sullivan, and this one I think are the only 3. I know he had an 8-man, I believe, at NXT Takeover Orlando 2 years ago, at WrestleMania 33 weekend. But this, as single matches go, Dream, Sullivan, and this match, and I think that they've all been very, very good matches in helping his opponent get a big victory over a named guy, and I think this did the same for Matt Riddle. I thought this was a very good match. 3.5 stars to these guys. They did very well. Next up, NXT North American title match. I'm going to need a drink before this starts. NXT North American Championship matchup. Ricochet and Johnny Gargano. This was insane. I knew this would be amazing. I just didn't know how amazing. These Johnny Gargano matches are honestly becoming like a compilation. Like, you could say to me, if I was going to introduce someone to wrestling one day, and they said to me, "Can you show me one wrestler that you think could get me hooked on wrestling?" I would show them Johnny Gargano matches, because they were all different. The Ciampa matches, especially the New Orleans one, which I think was the best one, was all about a gripping battle. It was a gripping, long narrative. It was a story. This match with Ricochet, and similarly the match with Black. The match with Black was more about strikes, and obviously Gargano played to Black's strength. Here with Ricochet, it was just an athletic contest. This was two men who wanted to beat each other. They wanted to out wrestle each other until the last couple of minutes, which we'll get to. This was two men who wanted to out wrestle each other and win the championship, and that was beautiful. It was beautiful. Early on, Ricochet showed that he had Gargano scouted. Gargano went for a top rope hurricanrana. Ricochet just lands on his feet. He's a freak of nature, Ricochet. He is the man to me. Well, Gargano is the man in NXT, and then Ricochet. They just did some amazing stuff. Ricochet did a spaceman dive over the top rope, the Frosbury flop. Gargano, both men got in, and they had a fantastic sequence where Gargano hit a super kick and Ricochet hit a Pele, and Gargano hit a super kick, Ricochet hit a Pele, and then there was a like a regal plex, like a big throw into the corner. Both men, there was a double down. Outside the ring, Ricochet would like throw Gargano in. He would then hit the springboard 450. Gargano would kick out. Ricochet would go up top rope. He went for the shooting star press. Gargano got the knees up, rolled him up. 1, 2. Ricochet kicked out. Gargano's like, oh my god, what do I fucking do? Gargano went for the Americana into the Gargano escape. Ricochet countered it, planted him, locked him in his own Gargano escape. That was insane. Gargano though got to the ropes. He got to the ropes. Both men ended up on the apron. Gargano was like looking at Ricochet. He pushed Ricochet into the barricade. He pushed Ricochet into the post. But before all this, Gargano was outside on the apron, and he was teasing, DDTing Ricochet onto the cement. He pulled up the mats. He was teasing, DDTing Ricochet onto the cement. But he said, no, I'm not going to do it. He pushed Ricochet in. As he was getting in, Ricochet cradled him. Ricochet, as Gargano kicked out, gave him this massive rebound lariat. But Gargano just he kept fighting. It was weird to see him as a tweener, but he's just a fantastic heel. Ricochet, both men were fantastic. But towards the end, Gargano, as both men were on the outside, Gargano pushed Ricochet into the ring post. He looked at the floor. He gave him a suplex onto the cement. Actually, there's one more spot I need to get on. Gargano at one point, he went to do a tope suicida to the outside. He after he locked Ricochet in his own Gargano escape, he hit a super kick on Ricochet, but as he did it, Ricochet fell out of the ring. Fantastic storytelling there. Fantastic psychology. Ricochet fell out of the ring. Gargano was like, shit, what do I do? So he was like, right, I'll give him a tope. He went for a tope. Ricochet caught him and was going to give him the Michinoku driver. But as he did it, Gargano got to his head, gave him a reverse hurricanrana, spiked Ricochet, threw him in the ring, did the slingshot DDT, 1, 2, kick out by Ricochet. Fantastic spot. Near fall of the match for sure. But as I said, towards the end, Gargano gave Ricochet a suplex onto the cement, making that spot mean something. He threw him in the ring. He looked at him. He said, I win. I deserve this. I gave him the slingshot DDT again, spiked Ricochet's head. 1, 2, 3. Johnny Gargano has finally won a singles title in NXT. It is the NXT North American Championship in, I'd say, the match of the year so far. Omega and Tanahashi was rather fantastic at the Wrestle Kingdom 13 at the Dome. This match here, though, I feel like I'll never forget Ricochet and Gargano. Like, it was the match that I wanted. Like when Ricochet signed and when he actually won the North American title back in Brooklyn, I actually really said I really want to see Ricochet against Johnny Gargano, and I got it, and it was better than I thought. This is 5 stars. This is the easiest 5 stars I think I've given in time. This match was breathtaking. This is not 4 3/4 stars as the last two, as the two big matches on the War Games show were. This is 5 stars. Kudos, kudos to both men because they were excellent, excellent. Next match, the fourth match on the show, penultimate match, was the women's title match. It was Shayna Baszler and Bianca Belair. I don't think this was quite at the quality of most of the show, but I do think it was good, and that's about it. I'd say it was good. I'm going to tell you, I think I'd give it 3 stars. It was good. The crowd loved Bianca Belair. They really loved her. At one point, Bianca Belair, I love the hair whip. I think it's a great gimmick. I think that no one else does it. I think it's unique. And she did the hair whip on Shayna Baszler, and she left like a gash, a little mark. It looked horrible. Like, it looked so sick. This match was like, it was good. I just never thought it got out of the first gear, because the crowd were dead after Gargano and Ricochet, and they were saving themselves for the main event. These two women, though, bless them. Shayna kept teasing the obviously the rear naked choke, the Kira Fuda clutch. At one point, she injured the arm of Blair by doing the stomp. They kept building Blair up, by the way, by saying that she was undefeated, which is true. Which is very interesting. That made this match mean more than just the title. It was Bianca Belair's undefeated streak on the line, similar to Aleister Black's undefeated streak at Takeover being on the line in the main event, which we'll get to in a second. But Belair tried her very, very much hardest. At one point, Baszler hit that sick, like, running knee she does, but it's not like the V-trigger. It doesn't look like a V-trigger or like a Buddy Murphy knee. It looks like an MMA type knee. It looks so cool, and it fits her gimmick perfectly. That got a near fall, I believe. Towards the end, though, Belair took control. The referee got bumped. Belair hit the KOD on Baszler, but the referee was out. As she's out, Schaefer and Jessamine Duke run down to the ring. Belair spears one of them. She takes out the other. As she's distracted, Baszler tries to fight back, but Belair takes it down again. She goes for the 450 from the top rope. Baszler catches her as she goes for the 450 in the rear naked choke. She holds this choke on for probably like a minute and a half. Belair fights to her feet the first time, and the crowd are really behind her at this point. She falls back down, and the crowd are like, oh, come on, you can do it, EST, EST, and all that. She gets to her feet a second time. She crumbles back down to the canvas. She passes out. Shayna Baszler retains the NXT Women's Championship. Thought it was a good match. 3 stars, not quite at the quality of the rest of the show, especially the opener, the NXT and the NXT North American title match. But still a good match, and I think that this should really allow people to kind of respect Bianca Belair a lot more, because I think a lot of people think that she's quite overrated. I've always thought she was a tremendous athlete. I think that she's still very young and she's got a lot to learn, and I don't think she's as good as Shayna Baszler, or Io Shirai, or like Kairi Sane, or any of those sort of people. But I think that she's definitely got a lot of potential as someone who's very young, and at her age to be that good, credit. And then we had the main event. Tommaso Ciampa, the NXT champion, defending against Aleister Black. I honestly thought it would be very, very hard for a match on this show to be as good, if not better, than Ricochet and Gargano. If I'm not like explaining how good that match was, I gave it 5 stars, and it was breathtaking. It was immense. Like, it's very hard to put how fantastic a contest that match was into words. Aleister Black and Tommaso Ciampa, and not a lot of people are taking this view, in my eyes, actually had a better match. This match gets 5 stars. This match was incredible. I think Tommaso Ciampa is the best heel in wrestling. I think Aleister Black here, to me, actually, as good a wrestler as I've always thought he is, had his best match in the company with a man in Tommaso Ciampa who I think many people have actually underrated. I think many people put a lot of the Gargano Ciampa matches down to Gargano, and don't give Ciampa as much credit. Ciampa here, to me, showed that he is in fact one of the very best wrestlers in the world. This match was kind of like the best blow-off to their singles feud that you could ask for. They beat the shit out of each other. The drama towards the last 10 minutes was breathtaking. Ciampa at one point got out of the ring, sat on the announce table and clapped. He drank some water, went up to Black, and then Black gave him an uppercut and like spat water everywhere. It was so funny because the water that was on the floor, from the fact that he spat it everywhere, played into a later spot. As they were getting back in the ring at one point, because Ciampa decided to pull the mats up because he didn't know what to do. He didn't know how to beat Aleister Black. He pulled the mats up. He was thinking, I imagine, of doing the draping DDT, but as he was doing it, he was getting cocky. And this is his character. His character is a dick. And he was complaining to the referee for stopping him and for warning him. And as he did that, that gave Aleister Black time to recover. And Aleister Black recovered, and he got on the apron. He jumped off the apron and he gave Ciampa a Meteora onto the cement, which looked disgusting. He threw Ciampa in the ring. He gave him the black mass, and he fell down because his knee had been worked on all match. He had been suplexed into the steps. He had been knee breakered on the announce table. His knee had been taken apart by Tommaso Ciampa around the ring post. Just various ways the knee had been attacked in such a excellent way, because I've seen a lot of leg work and I've never seen it maybe as important as it was here. And the commentators were excellent. They said that basically, without his leg, there's no black mass. And I know that sounds so simple, but I've never seen it be so effective. Aleister Black went for the black mass, but as he did it, he hit Ciampa, connected with it, his leg gave out. He wasn't on top of him to cover him. He had to crawl to cover. And as he went to throw his arm over Ciampa, Ciampa just rolled to his belly. And it was, frankly, one of the best spots I think I've seen in my time in wrestling. It was breathtaking to watch. The crowd were insanely into this one spot, this absolutely breathtaking spot. At one point, the water on the outside of the ring that Ciampa had spat out was on the floor, and as Aleister Black rolled Ciampa in at one point, he slipped on the water, and it took him a second to get his bearings back, and then he ran in the ring. And as he ran in the ring, he got caught by Ciampa with the fairy tale ending, the butterfly implant buster. 1, 2, kick out by Black. And at this point, Ciampa had no idea what to do, and that's why he went for the apron DDT, the DDT onto the cement. After that black mass from Black, Black was like, I guess I've just got to do it again. So he picked him up. He told him, I absolve you of your sins. This was after he'd hit these fantastic bicycle knee strikes to Ciampa that just took his head off. He picked him up. He said, I absolve you of your sins. As he went to give him black mass, Ciampa pulled the ref in the way. Black was like, get out of the way. He moved the ref out of the way. Ciampa went for a schoolboy, but as he schoolboyed him, they basically sent Black into the middle rope. So he was dangling in an apron DDT position. Gave him the apron DDT, rolled him over, hit the fairy tale ending again, a second one. 1, 2, kick out by Aleister Black again. The crowd were electric for this again. Ciampa was like, I guess I've just got to hit it again. He picked him up, hit another fairy tale ending, said no, I'm going to hit another one, went for another one. Aleister Black got out of it, gave him a massive roundhouse kick to the back of the head. He went for the black mass, but his leg gave out. Ciampa grabbed him quickly, gave him another fairy tale ending, the 4th of the match. 1, 2, 3. Tommaso Ciampa retains the NXT title in one of the best main events, I would say, of a takeover. I would argue this was better than some of the Gargano matches with Ciampa. I would argue this was better than any main event of a takeover in 2018 outside of the New Orleans Gargano match. And I would argue this was probably one of the best matches in NXT history. This was breathtaking. This was conclusion at its finest work. Like, this was the best way these guys could end their singles feud. This was better than their match in NXT, which was one of the best NXT shows, NXT taping matches of last year. 5 stars, stunning. I would say this was better than Ricochet and Gargano, and that was very hard for me to say because Johnny Gargano is my favourite WWE wrestler. And that was NXT Takeover Phoenix. I'm very sorry this review's going up late. I had to review this show just because it was fantastic. So I guess that's it, guys. Thanks for watching. This has been Raw Slot. Like, comment, subscribe if you want. Tell me your thoughts. Tell me what you thought of NXT Takeover Phoenix. Tell me what you thought the best match on the show was. Did you think Aleister Black and Tommaso Ciampa was a 5-star match? Did you think Ricochet and Gargano was a 5-star match? Which one do you think was better? Do you think I've been too harsh on the women's match? What did you think to the finish to Matt Riddle and Cassie Sono? What do you think to our new NXT Tag Team Champions, the War Raiders? And is there anything else you want to see me specifically review on this channel? My plan is to maybe review my Wrestle Kingdom DVDs that I've bought. I've got 9, 10, and 11. I've already reviewed Wrestle Kingdom 10 and 11 on my channel. If you want to check those out, check them out on my channel. I have never reviewed Wrestle Kingdom 9, which I'm currently watching at the same time as kind of doing a couple of other things, like playing Hitman 2, which I got for Christmas for my beautiful girlfriend. Thank you, Sherelle. And playing probably a couple of other games. Resident Evil 2 I might get in a couple of days. Kingdom Hearts 3 I could get. The Hitman HD Enhanced Collection. I got loads of pop vinyl for Christmas. If you want to see what I got for Christmas, I can do a video based on all that. But I guess thanks for watching, guys. This has been Raw Slot. Like, comment, and subscribe for more.